So Gojo's here today. Very interested in this offensive tackle class. So he wanted to sit in on the video because he's a big Chiefs fan and he's not content with what's going on at right tackle. Ain't that right, Gojo? But let's do this intro. What's crackalacking? It is your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So today we're going to be talking about my guys of this offensive line class. We're going to be going round by round. I'm going to let you know on my favorites in each round, since this offensive line class in general, I think, is a bit weak this year. But there is some good talent to be had. So hopefully you walk away with this with a player you may not know of or may not know much about. But let's go ahead, get into this sucker. Also, hey, hit that like button, a thumbs up. Of the first round, I'm going with Paris Johnson. He is my top tackle. And I mean, to be fair, like this could have been like a guy like Anton Harrison. I'm not too positive. He's kind of a fringe first rounder, but I'm pretty positive that Johnson will be a top 20, if not potential top 10 pick in this class. And he is just, I think, the best human being in this class. He's a former 5-star recruit from the 2020 class, and he has just a long list of volunteer experience, which includes starting his own foundation for disabled veterans and disadvantaged student athletes. He also actually wrote articles for the Ohio State newspaper there, the Lantern, covering sporting events, and actually talking about his fellow teammates. So I'm sure they were always pretty darn good. But he started as a guard for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Nicholas Petit-Frere, we're like, oh, we're going to let him play out at left tackle. But Paris Johnson was just too good to keep off the field, so he ended up starting at right guard. This year made the move to left tackle, looked good, allowed 14 pressures, 2 sacks, and a very good conference there in the Big Ten, especially when you're talking about pass rushers. And dude, 6'6", 313. We're talking about what, 36-inch arms is just insane. So you got a great combination of size, length, and athleticism. He just shows a good recognition of his surroundings, a good feel for pressure. He plays very well on the move, does a great job of just getting to the second level and opening up big plays for the running backs there. There's a lot of power in his frame. Honestly, I think he's got the highest upside of any of the offensive tackle prospects in this class. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there's not much to really critique here when it comes to Paris Johnson, man. Overall, man, I probably would take him as my top OT in this class. I'd be willing to spend a top 10 pick if I really needed to tackle that bad. But let's go ahead, move to the second round. I'm going with John Michael Schmitz. Remember, this is offensive line, not just offensive tackle. And John Michael Schmitz just screams surefire top 10, top 15 center in the NFL. I don't think there's much upside when it comes to John Michael Schmitz, but I do think that he is just going to be a solid starter. He will never be the weak link for your offensive line. He was a 3-star recruit out of that 2017 class, redshirt his freshman year, and didn't really see significant playing time until 2019. And I mean, this dude's been a mainstay for the Golden Gophers ever since. He's just as feisty as they come. He has only played center over the course of his career, but he's got the build at 6'4", 301 that makes you think he could also play guard, and doesn't necessarily possess overwhelming strength, but he is really, really gritty. He plays with a very mean demeanor that's just like, if you line up across from him, you're just gonna have a bad time. Like, this day has officially become bad. Sucks to be you. That is the type of just energy that John Michael Schmitz puts off, and I think the NFL is gonna love that. It's got nice, strong, meaty hooks for arms, because once he latches on, you are dancing with that guy for the remainder of the play. He shows good footwork, good contact balance. Just love this dude at the point of attack. However, I don't think he's ever going to be the strongest guy, and I don't think he is, I would say he's an average athlete. You look at his testing, Numbers 5.35 40. The vert 29.5, which actually fairly solid. 104. Like the explosive numbers were a bit better than I expected, but then I mean, yeah, look at the bench, 26 reps, not bad. Again, not the strongest guy, but he kind of plays like it. He plays like it, or plays like he wants to be it. But there are times I would say he gets beat by elite quicks or guys that are just more physically opposing at the point of attack. But again, I'm kind of nitpicking here. This guy's just exceptionally solid. He is the my guy for round 2. And then the my guy for round 3 is actually Cody Mock, man. This was a tough decision. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to put my boy Wanya Morris here. That was probably the other guy I was considering. But I think that Mock kind of gets a bad credibility from the NFL draft media. Like at the Senior Bowl, everybody was just messing up their pants when they talked about Cody Mock, and I would say it was very much an up and a down for the Senior Bowl for him. Like you saw, like he kicked inside, and you're like, okay, yeah, this guy's got kind of a ways to go. He might be a guy you might probably not necessarily start year one on the interior there, as he needs to get a bit stronger and such. But the movement skills are bonkers. They're insane. Like the dude was a former tight end in high school, played baseball, played basketball, did track and field. He was a walk-on for North Dakota State. Initially made the move over to the offensive line, played both tackle positions, but if you're familiar with the Bison offense, they're for the most part a pretty run-heavy offense. But this dude is just such a smooth athlete. You look at the tested numbers, a 5.08 40. The explosive numbers are in the better percentile. The 3 cone, it's in the higher percentile. He just lacks the length to play on the outside, 32.5-inch arms. I just honestly don't think you're going to be getting a guy that can play on the outside like that. But this dude's just so smooth. He is smooth, and he plays with I want to say reckless abandon, but at times, like he gets that, like if he's coming on, like if he's like swinging, coming in for a swing tackle, he kind of like barrel rolls sometimes into defenders. Like it's kind of nasty, but at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't mind if he was able to stay up. But I mean, hey, you're getting to the second level and you're knocking out a defender. I can't really harp on that too much, man. He will be a work in progress as a pass protector, just because, again, coming from a system that didn't really ask him to do that a ton. And again, you worry about the play strength. I think you really do. But this dude is flexible. He's athletic. He sinks well. Like he, again, might not be ready to start now, but I think in a year, like you're going to be getting one hell of a like guard or center at the next level. Like, I mean, look at him, man, dude. Not long ginger locks, no front teeth. Like, I know he's smiling, but ain't a guy you wanna be seeing coming at you, especially at his speed. But I settled on him over Wanya Morris. Honestly, I think both are great, and you're gonna hear me talk about guys that I maybe almost considered for the spot. Like Wanya Morris is still my guy as well. But let's go ahead to round 4, as I got Chandler Zavala out of North Carolina State, NC State, baby. And I'm going to first say this. I wanted this to be Cody Mock. I don't think Cody Mock... I said Cody Mock. I wanted this to be Andrew Voorhees. Andrew Voorhees ain't going to play his rookie year because of the ACL. I'm going to make him an honorable mention here because he really deserves to be so. Like I think he should be a day 2 pick, if not for the ACL. Older prospect. Really sucks for him. But I love that dude. That's my guy. But I'm going to choose to talk about Chandler Zavala here because I don't think I've really talked about him much outside of my most recent rankings video. Now, this dude was an unranked recruit coming out of the 2017 class. He played 4 seasons at Fairmont State, doing it at left guard in 2018 and 2019. They didn't have the 2020 season, so he transferred to NC State in 2021, and he began the season as a starter, but had to miss the last 7 games because of a back injury that resulted in surgery. Used the extra year of eligibility, so we're talking about a 6-year guy here, to return, and looked freaking phenomenal. Like, this dude has good size, good length. He shows great full body power. Like, I love the anchor. I love that he continues to turn his feet through contact. You really see that as NC State. They have this mean, like, inside zone running scheme there. That's just, it was really, really helped by the likes of Zavala. Also, honorable mention, Grant Gibson, who is in this draft as well. Let me make sure I got his name right. I want to say it's, yeah, Grant Gibson. I thought I had that right. I didn't want to disrespect the dude by saying the wrong name. I got him as a UDFA though, but those guys really, really helped out to form a very nice just run game there for NC State. I think he's got a quick mental processor. I really do. I think this dude is very wary of stunts and blitzes, where they're coming from and how to react. However, I don't think there's much positional versatility. I think you're getting a guard through and through here. He's really only played guard his whole collegiate career. Laterally, I'm not in love with his ability. Like, I don't think you can kick this cat out of tackle and be like, kick him out of tackle. I mean, the dude's 6'3", 322. He's got 33-inch arms. The testing was phenomenal from him. So you might be like, oh, can this guy maybe shoot out to tackle? And I just didn't see that enough on tape where I was like, oh, I think he could. Part of that is scheme, but I'm not gonna say he can't, though. I'm not gonna say he can't. I think he does a good job timing his punches. Hits them with power. I think his hands probably could be quicker, though. Sometimes when he needs to reset, he just doesn't do it quickly or efficiently enough. There are times where he can get super aggressive at the point of attack, find himself off balance, and overextends. I think the foot speed's solid. I don't think it's necessarily that special that kind of goes into laterally, but the tested numbers kind of say otherwise. They kind of say, you know what? Fairly solid. Might want to rethink that. But again, not everything's going to be the same with the numbers as it is on tape. But I really like Zavala. I mean, so much so, like, this cat's getting what? He's getting day 2 love now, which now I'm like, oh, crap, am I too low on him? But a big fan. On to the 5th round. I got Carter Warren out of Pitt. For me, he has always kind of been a mid day 3 guy. I've never really thought of him higher as that, but I wasn't going to put him lower than that because I think he's actually quality. And actually in a time class that's not like superb, like, he's actually fairly good. He is an older prospect at 24, but 6'5", 316, 35.5-inch arms, kind of nuts, 85-inch wingspan. Kind of ridiculous. Coming out of the 2017 class, he was a 3-star recruit. Richard his freshman season. Didn't really see play until 2019, where he was the starter at left tackle. And fun fact, he's been that ever since. He really has. I think he's got quick feet. I think he can mirror well. He brings a lot of fury to the point of attack, man. He could definitely be violent in that regard. And dude's got huge arms, so it's like, in terms of arm length, he's going to be consistently first to the point of attack. He shows the type of nasty I think the NFL really likes. That just whole bury him 6 feet under, rest in peace, Undertaker style mentality. Good core strength. You're not going to see him waist bending too much. You're not going to see him dipping his head as he tries to like reestablish himself. He's really grown as a pass protector there at Pittsburgh. And honestly, I think because of the injury this season, didn't get to see him take that next step forward that might have put him in like day 2 discussion, or at least for me. However, I will say there are things, obviously, I don't like about him. I think he stops his feet on contact rather than keeping them legs moving. And y'all know me. I've already said it multiple times in this video. Me love boys who keep them feet moving through contact. I think he does kind of lose leverage a little bit. He's a bit high padded. Like I want to say suffers from the tall tackle syndrome, but at 6'5", it's not nearly like as tall as some of the other guys that kind of struggle with that, as you'll see, like a guy like freaking Blake Freeland, 6'7", man. He's gonna consistently have to like struggle to get leverage consistently just because he's so stinking tall. But still, 6'5", that's nothing to scoff at. That's still pretty tall. Against quicker edge players, that did result in a lot of penalties in 2021. 8 penalties to be precise. And I would just love to see him be more efficient at keeping his strike zone clean, especially since he has that length. This dude could go in the 4th, and I'd be like okay with it. Like I think he's more of an early day 3 pick than just like 5th round guy. But wanted to include him here because again, it kind of gets sparse here in the later rounds. I'm gonna go ahead and move to the 6th round as I got City Sow out of Eastern Michigan. I had to mention this guy. This guy has had an unbelievable offseason draft process. First off, getting drafted to the USFL. If that didn't turn people onto this guy, then it really should have been his performance at the NFLPA Bowl. He was, I think, consistently the best offensive lineman there. He really was. Coming in at 6'5", 223, 35.5-inch arms, huge hands at 10.5-inch. So look at something that and be like, oh man, I wonder if he could do tackle. Because then you're going to look at his athletic test and be like, oh wow, I wonder if he could do tackle. He was in the upper percentiles of the explosive drill, so the vert and the broad. He had solid agility drill times. He ran a 5.07, 27 reps in the bench press. He did that on his pro day. Did all the athletic stuff at the combine. But golly, man, this dude, if you gotta look into this guy like background, because he grew up in Quebec, where he played hockey. Like no kidding, you're in Canada, you're playing hockey. Who would have freaking thought? Started playing football at a young age, so it was something that he played through high school. He also played handball. He competed in Olympic weightlifting, which is kind of cool. Ended up finding his way to Eastern Michigan, where initially redshirted. He's part of the 2017 class, if you didn't know. And initially redshirted, and then kind of started making the move to guard, because initially he was viewed as a tackle there in 2019. And he has just been a consistent starter and just amazing for Eastern Michigan there. He really has. He's got that thick build. He carries the weight well. He plays with a little bit of nasty. He plays physical. He plays strong. You got love that. I think part of that probably is his weightlifting background. No wonder he's explosive. You gotta be explosive when you lift in weights, man. Now, I think some of the bigger critiques. Okay, you're playing a lower level of competition, the group of 5. It's going to be a critique there. I think just learning how to use his hands well, really with the hand placement, I think would help him a ton, man. Because he's got the length, he's got big hands, he's got strong hands, he's got explosiveness. He could play with that violence. So I'd really love to see him develop in that. I think technically, just his game just says, hey, this is like a gem you could develop into like a legitimate starter. And I'm not even gonna say that he's strictly a guard. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this guy ends up playing tackle at the NFL level. Like, that's the type of traits we're kind of talking about. It's just, he is a work in progress. So, big fan of him. Let's go ahead and move to the 7th round of my guy, as I got Boise State's own John Ojoku. Hopefully I said that right. 6'6", 309. Another cat that's actually been a long-time starter for the Boise State Blue Broncos. I know they're just the Broncos, but they're blue. They got the field that's blue. He's actually started on both the right and the left side, so you love to see that guy that's played on both sides. Former 3-star recruit out of the 2017 class, and this dude checks a lot of the boxes: size, length, wingspan. This dude been very productive in multiple different, multiple systems there at Boise State. And probably the bigger hiccup with him is he's a guy that does overextend. So he plays a bit off balance in that regard. So he needs to improve his overall body, I guess, control. I would say a lot of that probably stems from the lower half because he's just playing out in front of himself. You don't want to see that because this dude, in terms of athleticism and everything else, man, like he can project into a very solid starter in a outside zone blocking scheme or just a zone blocking scheme in general. So get this guy moving. You want to see him in movement. You could also project him there at guard. He will sometimes struggle with the tall offensive line problem and struggle to get deep enough to consistently get a leverage. Did you see that a bit in the passing game? There are also just times where he loses where he needs to be on the outside. This is why I could see him maybe kick into the inside. He loses his landmark and he just ends up just playing a bit out of position and giving whether it's giving the outside edge rusher the space to bend there on the outside or a bit too much on the inside, and just it could cause a myriad of different problems. So yeah, I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier with I said earlier. I'm doing this day I did a stream or I hopped on with the all chiefed up YouTube channel. We were talking about Darnell Jones, where it's like this is a big guy. When he takes those kick slides are huge, and sometimes he enables the inside move. And I kind of pointed to like David Ojabo doing that to him in 2021. But yeah, no, dude, I like this kind of ton. Like again, in a class that just especially after like the first round, we're talking like the first 7 tackles are off the board. It's kind of just this like, where do I really take a guy? And it's like you look at but I give it another shot here, Ojoku, and you're like, I think I'm down to clown. And of course, I give y'all my guy who is a UDFA, and I will be shocked if he is drafted because he is a huge project, but I think one worth investing in. It's Demontre Jacobs. There we go, out of South Florida, baby. All right, where do I have him? Let me pull up his stuff here real quick for y'all. I guess let's talk about the size real quick. 6'6", 311. 36 and a 1/4 inch hands. He's got 11-inch hands. I haven't got pro day numbers on him, but I imagine they're spectacular because that's the thing, man. This guy's a really good athlete. And it's been a wild ride, honestly, for Jacobs. He was an unranked recruit out of the 2017 class, committed to Grambling State. And it was initially playing on the defensive line, or at least there was a want to play on the defensive line, but he remained at offensive tackle, redshirted that freshman year at Grambling State, started the next 2 seasons, transferred to South Florida, started 1 game in 2020, and it became the starter in 2021, used the extra year of eligibility to return. He's got actually playing time at both tackle spots. And listen, this dude's just got incredible length. He's a really good athlete, tall frame, thicker lower half. So he's got a sturdy anchor, moves exceptionally well, plays with good effort, hits with pop. There's like some violence to this guy's play. but he is so raw. He is almost a complete project. Like, from a technique standpoint, he's all over the place. Like, he's consistently just doesn't understand blocking angles and will just get worked. Like, you actually see this bit in the run game there for the Bulls, where he'll take, like, let's say, like, kicks out to like a 45-degree angle, but doesn't really initiate stop guys from being able to disrupt like stretch plays or tosses and whatnot. This dude just also with that length, the hand placement's everywhere. Doesn't do a good job of keeping guys out of his pads. Like, his hands are active and there's a willingness there, but they're just all over the place, and he could sometimes get a big huggy, you know, like you'll see penalties develop as a result sometimes. Like, the feet are quick. It's just sometimes he's stumbling and bumbling over himself, especially when he wants to go on the attack. And he'll just overextend, play just off balance, out of control. And like, legitimately, this dude is a total project. Like, this is a guy that's going to be on a practice squad, maybe. I think he got drafted by the USFL. Could be wrong about that, so fact check me in the comment section below. But I mean, I feel like the traits are so intangible that I'm like I think the only two other guys I considered here for this spot were Harry LaChance out of BYU, though he came up with a pretty weak bench press. And then, ironically, was a Slias Dancy? Again, I gotta get better pronunciations of some of these names, who also came with a pretty piss poor bench press. Just side notes on those guys. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Or is there anyone you weren't aware of, or at least haven't heard talked about quite a bit in this class? And yeah, show this video love, you know. Wanted to get more views because I want to do more of these position rankings on the series like this. So we're like deep diving into some of these later round guys. So show it love so I can continue to make this content. And just so I know that you're interested in it. But do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.